The first was the van, then the stand. Then I had my Audi convertible that I loved very much, but decided to sell it to buy the bus. I bought the school bus at the government auction, and after learning that conversion, official conversion from a company who would do the food truck conversions would cost tremendous amount of money, I decided I'll do the whole thing myself.
Get out of here.
Seriously.
Yeah, you did a great job with that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so...
Like, we worked in some crazy conditions too, in the winter time, standing out there trying to sell coffee, sell, like, apple cider.
No. When you work in a outside in farmers markets, it's not an easy thing, but it's definitely an experience. But it definitely pushes you and making you think on, how can you create the next condition for you to make it, a little bit easier and more profitable. An opening February 3rd, where all of our family were here, and we had a tremendous event. People from the township showed up, community showed up, and they showed tremendous support, and it meant a world to me.
Hey, I just want to say thank you for being part of this community. It is you who listens, it is you who watches, it is you who likes and leaves comments. It is you who enables us to grow. We've grown this much thanks to you. And this is only the beginning. We have big plans to scale this podcast in terms of the guests that we're going to have, in terms of the audience that we're going to reach, and more importantly, the value that we're going to bring to you. So a big thank you from the New Jersey Business Podcast team. I appreciate you very much. And I just have one little favor to ask. If wherever you are listening or watching this podcast, please subscribe. Thanks again.
The New Jersey Business Podcast highlights and supports local business and business owners just like you. We interview New Jersey's finest people, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You'll get tons of value from local business people as they share about their journey and secrets to success. If you like what you hear, want to support us, and make sure you are getting more of the good stuff, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast today. You are listening to the New Jersey Business Podcast with your friend, host, all-around good guy, Paul Valverde. Now, on to the show.
What's shaking, New Jersey? Welcome to another episode of the New Jersey Business Podcast. Today, I have the pleasure to be with Alex Krasniakov and Izabela Urbaniec. Both of them are the owners of Java Smugglers. I actually found Java Smugglers through your Instagram, and I live about 20 minutes from here. We're in Boonton, New Jersey right now. And I showed up. I mean, the vibe is great. The products are awesome. And I love this man's personality right here. He was very kind to me, very nice. And so I asked him to please be a guest in the podcast. Today, I had the pleasure to meet his lovely wife. And thank you very much for accepting my invitation.
My honor and our honor.
We thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Look, before we started, I mentioned to you that people buy people before they buy products or services, right? I told you that I really like the way, I like your vibe, and that made me want to, kind of establish a friendship with you and continue communication with you. And so for that reason, I believe that we are who we are because of the things that we live through in life, like everything that has happened or that we were involved in since the beginning, shaped us into who we are today.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
And so for that reason, I would like to ask you, what do I need to know about you to understand, or about the life you lead? In other words, what do I need to know about your childhood, your upbringing? I want you to take me all the way back there in order to understand who you are now and why you do the things you do and why you are the way you are.
Well, I was born in Belarus, and the way I was brought up, I think I grew up. My family brought me basically in the village, so I guess I was able to to live my life more of a free spirit. Meaning, yes, I had to attend the school. Yes, I had to obey the rules of the household and such. But for the most part, I was able to also, learn things like do things yourself, type of like fix the bike. If you want to ride a bike, go fix the bike. If you, I was interested in practically every field, from collecting mushrooms to to anything. I was curious about practically everything. And in my later stage of my life, about 16, where I moved to Poland, basically practically on my own, I learned that communication is probably the single and probably the most important aspect of human interaction. And from that time on, I think I basically took it up on, making it a priority, myself, whoever I interact with. And that being the reason, I've been through a variety of industries, and I've sold newspapers on the traffic lights, and I have been in construction, and I've been on Wall Street. So, so it took me far and back far again. So it's like, it really comes down to kind of understanding yourself and who you want to be yourself and how you want to interact in that society and who you want to surround yourself with. But communication and making sure that people feeling comfy and comfortable and loving around you is probably my most important priority. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. So you went from Belarus to Poland.
Yes.
And then here to the States at one point.
Yes.
And so you were always curious about different things.
Yes.
And have been through different trades, different jobs.
Yes.
You had ups and downs. And all of those things have shaped you into the person that you are today, a business owner of this beautiful place.
Absolutely. I definitely nowhere near the end. I'm still need to learn more, and I'm definitely hungry for more. And I feel like I still need to learn more of life and live more life. But certainly, yes, all of our experiences shaping us, being able and exposed to variety of industries, variety of crafts. Definitely, it was my somewhat a desire to find myself, right? So I was probably looking for myself, what I want to do, who I wanted to be, and I just try to be in many industries as possible and trying to understand, is this my thing? Is this something I wanted to do? And end up with the coffee shop because I understood that I think creating a platform where people could connect to each other, share ideas, maybe brainstorm things, move on to the next step, building something more than they already have, or sharing something with each other valuable that they could be appreciative of. That was my primarily motivation.
Yeah, I like what you said about having as many experiences as possible. That's an advantage oftentimes. Isabel, what about you?
Very similar upbringing. Pretty much when I was 9, my mom came to United States, so I was pretty much, with my sister trying to learn life, trying to pretty much live on our own and, learn how to do this.
Yeah.
And then at some point we started living with my grandfather in Poland, and finally we got here. So I always wanted to be, so this is something different for me. This cafe, everything, and the business, I've pretty much supported my husband all the way throughout the thing. It was his dream. So I was just there for him financially, supportive emotionally and in my physical being as well, for all these years. So we finally got to where we got. And I'm pretty much more in the medical field. I've been in the medical field for all these years, and I do love to interact with people. I do like to help people, and that's why it's very good environment as well for us, because it pretty much we're interacting with people as well, and we can always show our you know I don't know how to say it, maybe kindness to other people, and do whatever we can, you know.
You know, I want to thank you for what you do in the medical field. I mean, not too long ago, we went through a very difficult time. And, you know, you guys were the ones that were holding us down, you know. I've realized that many people who go into fields such as the medical field or even teaching, they always have a heart for service. You know, and I can sense from you, Alex, you have a heart for service as well. I mean, in everything that you guys are saying, what I keep on hearing is kind of the benefit of others and providing community, you know, being kind. And I think that's such a wonderful thing. So I think our family, our audience wants to know, and I want to know, how do you guys meet? Go ahead.
So we pretty much met online.
Well, you know, that's quite common nowadays.
Yeah,
you know?
it was just like we were practically looking for friends. It was just the beginning of when I actually got here. I came to America when I was in 2001.
Okay.
So Alex in 2003, but we didn't meet until like 2005.
Okay.
So we pretty much, I was still looking for friends. I was always busy working, going to school. Since I remember, I've always been doing school and working and trying to live a life a little bit as well and meet more people. So that's how we met. We started talking together, and after 2 weeks or two about that, Alex told me he loves me, he wants to be with me and whatever, and we decided.
Based on what I remember, I posted...
That's her version, right?
Yes, based on what I remember, I posted the car for sale, and she contacted me, and somehow we got in touch.
I was also looking for friends.
There we go.
But yeah, we started talking, we met, and then he told me that I'm the love of his life, and that was it.
Yeah.
And since then, we've been together through hard times, easy times, whatever, you know, whatever we had to go through, and we're here.
Yeah. You know what? Thank you for sharing that. And without a doubt, in a relationship, you really get to know people during those hard times, right? And the fact that you guys are together, the fact that you're willing to continue to be a medical professional and support Alex's dream,
yeah.
you know, and the fact that you're here, I think it speaks volumes. So I really appreciate that. And I know Alex is you're a lucky guy, man. I got to tell you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's fast forward a little. Okay, so you guys met, you were together. I know that before this brick and mortar location, you guys had a bus, right?
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So basically, we've done, quite frankly, if you don't mind me, I would like to share that as well. So pandemic happened, and I was just brainstorming ideas, and my primarily first idea was called press juice, you know, so and cold press juice, and after learning the expense of acquiring equipment, consulting hours and whatnot, I reminded myself of experience when I used to work for a high-end catering company called Newman's Kitchen. We've done a walk through a coffee house in Brooklyn, New York, and I was walking by a burlap bags piled up from all over the country. It inspired me, and it just spoke to me in such a way where we had this abundance of coffee from all over the world, and we can taste it and feel it and smell it and such. So I realized that coffee is extraordinarily a door of opportunity for us to connect, exploit the commerce opportunity, unlike any other product which is more perishable, like juices, where
it goes bad. Right?
Yes, 24 hours. Besides the fact that you need to invest tremendous amount of money in expensive equipment, expensive consulting hours, and the risk of losing the product in a short amount of time if it's not sold, plus designing the temperature control packaging and whatnot. So I decided that, coffee may be a door for us where we'll be able to learn and expand. Because, if I don't sell it this week, I can sell it in 2, 3, or 4 weeks. It doesn't really, affect that. So it's not a perishable product. And another thing about coffee is we really narrowed down our research and understood the importance of low acidity coffee, because we consume coffee typically daily, sometimes a few times throughout the day. And low acidity coffee contributes to lower inflammations, lower acidity reflex in our stomach. And that is important factor in our functioning throughout the day, because the better we feel, the better we function. The more productive we are, the more loving we are to our close ones, the more productive we are in our work environment or career and whatnot. So yeah, we understood that is very important, and we decided that getting coffee from Indonesia, which is first of all volcanic soil, which is rich in nutrients and minerals. Aside from that, higher altitude contributes to the lower acidity. So this is typically the region where we would like to get our coffee from, typically the island of Bali. And sometimes depending on the harvest, yes, we'll get it from the other island like Sulawesi, which is still Indonesia, but it's still a lower acidity coffee and still tastes just amazing. So that's how we started the idea. But first we created the website. Then
first you started selling coffee.
First, yeah, we decided, okay, we'll create the website, and the idea was that maybe we'll create a e-commerce company, and we try to push coffee online. After multiple attempts, basically cold calling and try to promote it, this was not significant enough. So we decided, okay, we need to do something more, and we need to promote our brand. We definitely, come up with the name, and the reason why Java Smugglers is because coffee has that unique history where it was prohibited, just like alcohol was at some point, where it was believed that it was causing some sort of demonic influence on human behavior.
Wow, you're educated.
No, we did a little bit of research, not as extensive as some people have done, but a little bit to do the job. But and basically this is one of the reasons why it was prohibited, but people loved it enough to smuggle it from country to country, to steal it from royalty to somewhere else. And we decided that we could introduce a little bit of humor to the name, and this is how Java Smugglers name was born.
Yes, and we also have a little backstory though, because when we were in Key West, when we stayed on a boat, we also had like a very good bourbon that was called Key West Smugglers. And we were just and we had such a great time over there. It's just the two of us on the boat, and there was a lot of storms, but but it was just amazing. And we just came up with this. We really wanted to bring that memory back as well with the name. So yeah, that's our backstory too.
I gotta tell you, it's funny how often I talk to many entrepreneurs and many business owners, either business ideas or business names, like some of the really good ones, came out while drinking.
Yes,
that's
indeed.
A great backstory.
Yes, indeed. Interestingly enough, to pick up Isabella's story, basically, we R&B, right? I looked it up, and there's a sailing boat available and at the time we were in Florida traveling, we basically went on a road trip to Florida, and we decided, okay, let's try this out. And the guy had Key West Smugglers, half a bottle of whiskey. So I see it on his boat, and I called him up, say, hey, listen, I see you have this bottle there. You don't mind if we finish it up? So yes, he said, go ahead. And the inspiration was born right there. So yeah, but aside from the fact, the name was born shortly after, right. Because we did learn, how tremendous the coffee industry is in the United States. First of all, we are not probably, but for sure, one of the most important customer of coffee all over the world. And secondly, it is one of the most traded commodity on the stock market. But besides that, there's a story to it, which you just heard, and we can create a place, we can create an atmosphere that could connect people and inspire other people, right. And I think that's what motivated us the most.
So I'm sorry, let me take you back a little bit. Mm-hmm. So you had the website, and you were trying to sell your product, but it was, you weren't getting the response that you wanted. So you say, okay, we got to take it from a different angle. So what was the next angle that you?
Next angle was that we started contacting the farmers markets in any other type of events in a warmer season that we could participate in, and basically bought a minivan. Went to Pennsylvania, where to the company that sold barrels, built the stand that is quite unique, alike from any other stands on the farmers markets, and decided to participate that way. Shortly after, we realized that aging coffee in a bourbon barrel would actually gives us another niche. Basically, once you age it in a barrel, it acquires that oaky bourbonish flavor. Once you roast it, obviously there is no alcohol content in it, but flavor is so strong that people feel, it's fascinating. Yeah. It's just like bourbon. And we decided that, this is something we should continue to, because firstly we just experimented with it, but then we decided that actually that may be not a bad product to introduce, and actually was very successful. Then shortly after, we basically traveling to farmers markets and in different events, we realized that
art festivals and also the Hoboken art, the pop street art market in Hoboken. So we've been going there almost once a month, and then certain months, like in the Christmas season, we would be there every week.
Wow. Yeah. So you're working your full-time job and doing this in addition to. Wow.
No, Izabela does, definitely. I'm being full-time committed.
You're full-time committed. And during that time of visiting the markets, it was the same thing. So how long were you on, is that how you call it, the bus? Yes.
Well, the thing is, we bought the bus.
The bus came later. So first was the van with the stand.
The first was the van, then the stand. Then I had my Audi convertible that I loved very much, but decided to sell it to buy the bus. I bought the school bus at the government auction, and after learning that official conversion from a company who would do the food truck conversions would cost tremendous amount of money, I decided I'll do the whole thing myself.
Get out of here.
Seriously.
Yeah, you did a great job with that.
Yeah. So I basically, realized that school bus would be probably the most convenient vehicle to do that if you wanted to do it yourself.
We were also short on budget, so we had to figure things out.
Of course. Yeah.
I think this is probably the most, pushing thing when you actually short on money and you have to figure things out to make it work.
I like to talk about that a little bit more because that inspires creativity.
Yes.
Oftentimes, like people say, oh, so oftentimes people will want to just start off with the brick and mortar, even though they don't have the capital, even though they don't have the money in order to do that, right? Sometimes, and because the way, I guess the culture nowadays, people just want to fast forward, skip those essential steps.
Yes.
I gotta admit to you, I've been guilty of that. Like I've been guilty of wanting to I want to be here without having to go through here. And then I realized, no, I have to go back and I have to go through there. Yeah. So I appreciate that you guys went through all those steps. This is a lot of our audience, almost 75% of our audience are people who are either just starting a business or thinking about starting a business. So this is value. It's important to take it in, that those steps, that sweat, that grind is so important.
Definitely.
To the point of modifying your own bus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were gonna say
I was just going to say, like, we worked in some crazy conditions too, in the winter time, standing out there trying to sell coffee, sell like apple cider.
No. And when you work in outside in farmers markets, it's not an easy thing, but it's definitely an experience. But it definitely pushes you and making you think on, how can you create the next condition for you to make it, a little bit easier and more profitable. And it's not. There's no shame in that. It's just where we all trying to achieve by the end of the day, So, so we purchased the bus, we converted it with the help of an artist from Iceland. She was able to apply the graphics to it, which turns out to be tremendous. So if you didn't see the bus yet, please follow us on Java Smugglers /_boss on Instagram. And then once we've been participating at all of these events, the most important question was, do you have brick and mortar? Do you have location? Do you have this?
People
kept asking, when are we opening? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I think the way we presented the product, the way we present ourselves was creating the type of, atmospheric question type of vibe. Like, we would like to see you again somewhere else. We would like to see what can you bring up, and we realized that, it's a point where we definitely have to do it. Besides, there's another advantages to having brick and mortar, is basically creating consistency, and a little bit different type of, brand image. And there's plus and minuses to everything we do in our life, obviously, but nothing but blessing comes from this location. We have tremendous positive feedback, and nothing but just an opportunity to connect people together and bring them to a unique place and have them taste the delicious coffee.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. How long did it take from the time you had your website, right, and you started you started selling coffee, to the opening of this place?
So we originally registered our company in February of 2021. And our grand opening of this location was in February 3rd, 2023.
Oh, wow. So 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
Almost to the day, 2 years.
Yes.
From the time that you started the business to the time that you opened this place.
Yes.
Let me ask you this question. What was the highest, like the peak moment, the highest, happiest moment in those 2 years?
In those 2 years, it was definitely grand opening, February 3rd, where all the family were here, and we had a tremendous event. People from the township showed up, community showed up, and they showed and tremendous support, and it meant a world to me.
How do you feel on that day?
On that day, I felt like I finally, stepped on the next step that I could use to move forward. So it was very meaningful, and I really grateful for it.
Yeah, and it's almost like marriage, right? Like,
Yes.
in other words, in the sense that people get a lot of things going for the wedding, but real life begins after the wedding,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so, but without a doubt, I could see how that's a peak moment, because it's a sense of accomplishment, and to share it with your loved ones, to share it with the community, it's just a beautiful thing, because that's kind of what you're trying to do, bring everyone in. How do you feel on that day, on February 3rd?
I was very happy. It's finally Alex's dream came true. So I was just doing this for him pretty much, because he wanted to get here. So I pretty much supported him. I was really happy that we finally got here too. And it was amazing. It's holding this, the scissors together in our hands, and finally, cutting the ribbon and being able to open this. It was just, it was an amazing experience.
Isabella, I want you to know that when you're a business owner, entrepreneur, and say you're all in committed, and you're married, it's like, there's no way. I haven't met anyone who's told me, oh no, my spouse or my partner, they have nothing to do with me or the business. They don't know anything. They don't have anything. It's almost impossible. The reason is, as human beings, we can't compartmentalize our life. Like, we can't say this has nothing to do with this, it has nothing to do with this. Because it's who we are is who we are, and who we are is who we are everywhere we go, right? And so if that's something that he's passionate about, it's inevitable that he's gonna talk about it and dream about it, and you're probably gonna want to have some a romantic evening, and it's like, I just came up with an idea for a new product, or I just came up with this, and we should do this. I got a real idea. Believe me, I go through that.
Yeah.
And so I think it's wonderful that you're there, supporting him, and you're a part of it. I've talked to many people who don't feel that way. I talk to people who say, I wish I could rely more on him, or I wish I could rely more on her, but they don't get it, or they don't want to. And that's, it's tough. It's tough because, when you're a business owner, it's like your baby.
Yes.
And every time you don't feel the support, you feel rejected. And that's a tough thing. So I'm glad that that you guys are together in this. I'm glad that you're so supportive as you are. And so my next question would be, during this journey, what would you say was your lowest moment?
The lowest moment, probably for us, was when we learned that the ceiling that needs to be compliant with 2-hour fire separation, and we just paid a contractor to do the ceiling. And we spent a bunch of money on his tool, on his material, on his labor, and it turns out that it's not compliant with the township regulation, because there's an apartment upstairs, and there's additional substantial quite money to redo this or do it to the way that is compliant. And at that point, we were like, we had everything on the line, meaning like, should we continue? Should we not? This and that. So it was, and it was already tons of money invested in it.
And also a lot of time already, because we started working on it in July, right?
Just about, yes.
Yeah. So we didn't open until February, so that took a while.
Yes,
Everything was postponed because of that as well.
Yeah, just about 6 months. Yeah. So I think that was like that was a hit, definitely. And to answer your question, I think that probably was our lowest moment at the time throughout this whole period of time.
Do you consider quitting?
Listen, I've considered those, multiple options, but nevertheless, every time I wake up with like, I'm going to push this envelope further. I wake up and I'm just sometimes I just don't want to, but I still make myself to come here, and I'm still doing things that I would like, provide the value.
What drives you? What motivates you? What is the reason you wake up? Like, why do you wake up in the morning still willing to come here?
Still willing to come here. So I think it's my dream. I want to create more than this, definitely. The fact that I was able to create this and provide this sort of a value to people, it is a significant step and a feedback for me. But my dream is to create a company that is definitely provides quality product, quality experience.
How big?
Nationwide.
Nationwide.
He wants French fries, all that.
Nationwide at the very least, and hopefully worldwide. Hopefully worldwide. But at the moment, my dream is, at the very least, is a nationwide.
Some people say no expectations, no disappointments. I disagree with that. I think high expectations, better results.
Yes.
Because when you have high expectations, then you strive to meet those expectations.
Always. You have a purpose.
And you may not get there, but you get much higher than what you would have gotten if you didn't have those expectations. So I love when I hear people dreaming big. And something else, I'm a person of faith. And so I heard someone say, if you dream small, if your goal is small and you achieve it, then you did it. But if you have a huge goal, a huge goal, and you meet it, then it was God helping you along the way. And I like to think that way. I think it's good to have a big dream, and I like the fact that you have that vision that this is only the beginning of the journey, and there is much, much more to come. What can someone expect when they come here to Java Smugglers in Boonton? In your first location, mind you, because there will be many more. What can someone expect when they come to Java Smugglers?
Well, they definitely can expect a mind-blowing experience of peace and quality of coffee. We do have, again, low acidity coffee. We do have bourbon barrel aged coffee, which is as delicious. We have variety of lattes. We also provide variety of smoothies. We do have workspace. We do have, I probably mentioned that we have smoothies, but so to keep you in a health spirit. Most importantly is it's the platform where you can come in, enjoy, feel like at home, work. If you don't want to work, read the book, enjoy, come in, meet with the friends, have a date.
Yeah. I'll testify to that. I've come here a few times to work. I brought my laptop. I've worked on different projects, different things, and the vibe was just great. I felt very comfortable being here. Actually, I had a friend meet us here, and my friend came with her dog, and there was a water bowl provided, and I thought that was great because, for us, we love animals, they are part of the family as well. So I think that's great. That's very welcoming. So I testify to that. I want to tell you guys that I wish you all the success. I pray and wish that you guys exceed those dreams and exceed those expectations, that you go much further. I pray that, that you have the strength to continue to support his dream and vision. And I pray also that you have the, that you continue to be grateful, have the gratitude for her support always, Thank you guys. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing about your business. Thank you for sharing about some of the things that you learn along the way. Our audience takes away, I think, a lot of value from this. So I appreciate that. We're going to be putting all of their social media information, website in the description, so you can find it. And that way they could come and visit, they could get in touch, they could buy online, they could do all those things. Because you're currently still selling coffee, you currently still have the bus, and you still have this location. You are very active. So you guys, people could get it. So oftentimes you go to Hoboken in the bus? Yeah?
Yes, typically at least once a month we will go to Hoboken, participating in a pop-up market, a pop-up artisanal market in Hoboken, which is every third Sunday of the month. So feel free to follow us on, again, Java Smugglers _bus for the events that we're planning on participating in. If you're planning to visit our store, it's Java Smugglers. Yeah, we do have live music. We planning on to have much more entertainment here. We'll have a book exchange. We have, in fact, interestingly enough, just yesterday I met ladies who are interested in doing a poem reading in with introduction of ChatGPT.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is something extraordinary. So we're planning on providing that platform for them. We'll put the projector here and possibly a laptop and make sure that they stay interactive with the event. So, and if you do have any type of ideas that you would like to host, we'll be open-minded to it.
That's pretty awesome. Listen, I'm part of Java Smugglers community, and you guys are part of the New Jersey Business Podcast community. And I think that's awesome. Once again, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And guys, into the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the show, go to NewJerseyBusinessPodcast.com. That's NewJerseyBusinessPodcast.com. We can't wait to hear from you and your business. You can also visit our website to learn about sponsorship opportunities and how to qualify for a complimentary gift. Thanks again for listening to the New Jersey Business Podcast.